Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to have you here on this Promptings webinar tonight. I love starting with that video and the energy it has. My name is Callie Teagarden. I am the Senior Field Advisor here at Promptings, and I want to welcome you. Some of you may be looking at Promptings for the very first or second time. When we're done here, I'm going to send you back to the person who invited you so you can get any questions that you may have answered. To tell you a little bit about me, I got started with prompting several years ago. It was actually 2009. I was looking for a way to stay in touch with my clients, to be able to send birthday, thank you, and holiday cards. And so when I found this system, it was the perfect system to help me connect with people, which is exactly what I wanted. What I didn't realize at the time, that the company was also going to connect me with my purpose and put me on a pathway to prosperity. So right now, I want to bring on our founder and chief visionary officer, Mr. Cody Bateman, so he can explain to you what is a prompting, the best way to act, and why he started this Promptings, or this company Promptings. So Cody, take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cody Bateman. I'm the founder of the Promptings movement. Appreciate you being with us tonight. I want to share with you a couple of stories. One is how this whole thing started in the first place, and what our mission is, and what we plan to do to change this world of ours by helping millions of people act on their promptings. We hope that you're one of them. So it all started back in 1989. I accepted a job offer. I just graduated from college and accepted a job offer to work for an ad agency in New York City. So when we accepted that job, we packed up all of our belongings. I was newly married at the time, had a little baby girl. We packed up all of our belongings, put it in a U-Haul truck. We were driving this little car of ours in front of the U-Haul truck, and we went over to my mom and dad's house to say bye to the family. So we said our goodbyes, and I remember coming out in the front of my parents' home, and we got into the car, and we put little baby Whitney in her car seat, and Jody got into the passenger side, and I went to get into the car. And as I went to get in, I looked over in a lot adjacent to my parents' home. My older brother, Chris, was moving some vehicles around in this lot. And at that moment, I had what I call a prompting, an intuitive thought that I needed to stop what I was doing, go over to my brother, give him a hug, tell him I love him, and say goodbye. That was the prompting. And we were in a hurry. There were people waiting for us. There was another couple that was moving with us that was driving the U-Haul truck. And we all needed to leave. And so what do you think happened? I ignored the prompting. I remember getting in the car and driving away, and I honked and waved at my brother as we drove off, and he waved back at me. I'll never forget the look on his face. And we drove away, and we drove all the way across the country, moved into our new home in New York City area. And a couple of months went by and everything was going well, until one night I got a phone call about 2:00 in the morning. And my mother was on the other end of that line, and she tearfully let me know that my brother Chris had just been killed in an accident. Now, that was devastating news. In fact, I remember when I got that news, the first thing I thought of is that I had this prompting that I needed to say bye to him, and I ignored it. So at that very moment, I made a promise to my brother Chris, to myself and to my brother Chris. I said to him, I said, I'm sorry, brother, that I ignored that prompting. And I promise you that when I have promptings to reach out in kindness to others, I will act. And I'll do all I can to help as many people as I can do the same thing. That was in 1989. Excuse me. That's when this whole thing started. That was the dream that was put into my mind at that moment. And everything I did from that day forward was to figure out how to deliver the promise. I needed to act on my promptings. I needed to help other people act on their promptings. Now, keep in mind, this is a long time ago. This is in 1989. It was even pre-internet days. We didn't even have the internet back then. So the concept and idea that I had was I had to find a way to help people act on their promptings. And I knew that for myself, the way for me to express myself, my appreciation, my kindness to others, it was a lot easier for me to write those things. Like if I wrote somebody a message in a card, it was a lot easier for me to express myself in a card than it was verbally. So I figured early on that whatever I did, it was going to have something to do with greeting cards, because a greeting card was a simple way for me to act on a prompting. If I had a prompting to say thank you to somebody, I could quickly send them a card with the words of kindness in them. So I started doing all kinds of things pre-internet days to try to figure out how to do that. You can't even imagine the things that we tried to do, but this thing called the internet came along. And when the internet came along and I saw the possibilities of the internet, the light bulb went on that, man, if there was a way that you could send a real greeting card over the internet. So if I could call up the internet and pick a card and type in a message and click it, and somehow it went over the internet to a printer and the printer would print it and send it for me, man, that would be cool. So we went on a long journey to try to figure out how to do that. We actually pioneered the technology that calls for through the internet for variable print on demand on printers. Nobody had done that before us. And we did that back in 2001 and 2001 and 2. So we finally had created what I call a mechanism. We created a mechanism to help people act on their promptings. And what it was is the mechanism allowed me as a person to go onto the internet, onto the mechanism, and choose a greeting card and be able to type a message into the greeting card and then put in an address for that person and push the send button. And then over the internet, it would go to our printers. We would stuff it, stamp it, and mail it out for you. And we started doing this way back in 2002 was when we first started doing this over the internet. Nobody had done it before. So it was a powerful mechanism. In fact, once we had the mechanism to do this, I wanted to start changing my habits and other people's habits. The habit I wanted to create was I sent cards to people every single day. So one of the habits that I had was is that the first person I thought of, I would send a card to. And I'm going to share a story about this card right here. So I got up one morning and my habit was first person that comes to mind. Well, the first person that came to mind that day was a lady by the name of Pat Chase. She does the music at the church I went to. So I went to my mechanism that we had created. We had about, I don't know, maybe 100 saved greeting cards in there. And this was one of them. And it says beauty on the front. So I picked this card. It says beauty on the front. And inside it said things are beautiful if you love them. So I want you to watch the words that I wrote in this card to Pat Chase, who does the music at the church. So right from my computer over the internet, I typed these words. I said, Pat, just a quick note to let you know I appreciate what you do for us at the church. You make music beautiful, and I'm a better person for it. Your friend, Cody. That's simple. And I clicked the send button and sent it off to her. Now I want to explain to you what happened when she received the card. A couple of weeks went by and I show up at church and she comes up to me and says, Cody, first of all, I want to thank you for this card you sent me. And I want to tell you what happened the day I received it. She says, I got up in the morning and I went into the front room of my house. I was going to pick up the receiver of the telephone, my intent was to call the leader of the church to let him know that I was no longer going to do the music of the church. She said, I don't remember a time when somebody thanked me for the service I provided. The only thing I got were complaints as to why I didn't play this music or that music. She says, and I was really frustrated. And so I was about to quit. She said, but something told me to go get the mail first. Now we know that that's called a prompting. She was prompted to go get the mail first. So she did. She hung up the receiver of the phone, did not make the phone call. She went out to her mailbox. The only piece of mail on a Thursday morning was this card. She opened up the envelope from her mailbox, read this card that you're looking at. She says, Cody, I want you to know that I was at my mailbox and I openly wept, she said. And I want you to know that when I went back in the house, I did not place the phone call. And I'm not going to place the phone call. I will keep doing the music of the church, and I will never, ever, ever forget you for how you made me feel with that card. Thank you very much. That's the power of acting on promptings.
That is truly the power of acting on promptings. Thank you so much for sharing that story, Cody. That right there is promptings at work. It's about reaching out in kindness to those you know, your customers, your prospects, anyone, when you have that thought to reach out. That is why promptings is here. We're really, as Cody mentioned, help people act on their promptings, appreciate others, both personally and professionally, and through all that, the ability to attract prosperity. Again, as Cody mentioned, promptings are those intuitive thoughts that call on you to take positive action, and promptings will create genuine human connection and guide you to your personal genius. As he mentioned, heartfelt messages are the best way to act on your promptings. And we have an amazing promptings mechanism, also known as send out cards, that allows you to act, just like Cody shared that story. But tonight, I want to have a couple other people come on and share their stories, how they're acting on their promptings. Our first guest tonight is Amberly Shreve. I think I've known Amberly for about a year now, and she is an amazing woman, heart of gold, great mom, wife, out of Maryland. Amberly, I know that this company is changing your life. You're changing the lives of others in the process, and I would love for you to share with everyone tonight.
Oh, Callie, thank you so much for having me on tonight. And you are so right. This company has changed me, forever changed me and my family. So it is such an opportunity to be here with you and everyone tonight. So thank you.
Yep.
So this first card is for my friend Kylie and her family. They lost their puppy, Chelsea, and you can see how adorable she is. And they were just heartbroken. I mean, this in their family for so long. And I just thought it was appropriate to send some memories so they will have something to remember her with. And Kylie, they received the card and they were all crying on the phone because they could not believe that I put this together. And she said that her son was actually holding it in his arms because they had missed Chelsea so much. So I just wrote in here that we were so sorry to hear the sad news about Chelsea. And I know how special she was, sending prayers, love, and support during this time. So it was very important for us to support her and her family during this time, that this time of sadness for them. So I was glad that I was able to be there for them. So the next card is for my dear friend Liz. She runs our women's group at church, and she had a sickness that she was dealing with, and I wanted to be there for her. She is such a wonderful, dear friend, and we all go through ups and downs and challenges. So what we do, right? We impact the world with what we're able to put in these cards. So I only thought that it was the right thing to do for me to send this card to her. And it says that the path that you are on is not always easy, but necessary for God's plan. It's one of the hardest things that we do, is to be still and allow God to take us through it. I'm here to support, listen, and and be here on every step of the way. Please call me. My info is on the back, and I did not have a number for her at the time. So all my love, Amberly. So reaching out to her and being able to support this time was, very in for me. So it was a beautiful memory and a chance for me to connect with her and be there for her.
And Amberly, I know you're doing this on a daily basis, right? Reaching out as life happens, right? You see things on social media, as you meet with people, as you go to church and your daughter's activities, you are listening and then showing up for people and loving on them through this product.
I am. Yep.
And you're teaching others, especially, I know you work with a ton of business people, on how to use this product to appreciate and love on their clients, their prospect, the people that they work with. And I know that so many of your clients, it's making a huge impact in their business.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being on and sharing your stories tonight. Our next guest is Donna Grand. I've gotten to know Donna really throughout this past year. I absolutely love her. Donna, we didn't know each other, but it seemed like we became kindred spirits really quickly. I'm so glad you are on here tonight. You're coming out of South Carolina, and I would love for you to share your stories.
Thanks, Callie. Well, it is all about the promptings, and these couple cards that I'm going to show tonight. Oh my gosh, I couldn't wait to share them with everyone. So the first card that, when that comes up.
I'm coming.
There we go. So this was on a business trip, and Ariana, we were sitting in the plane together, and after we got off the plane, we were just talking and chatting. And the natural thing is, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I just help people and businesses build relationships, because relationships will build their business. And she's like, tell me more. So we started chatting, and I explained to her about the card, and she says, I'm not a salesperson, but what she does is very interesting. She actually does scannings of card care, the arteries, to make sure that they're not clogged. And she said, I just can't do any sales. I said, well, this isn't sales. What I consider this is just sharing a system that is so unique that it really touches people's lives, and it really makes an impact, not only the person receiving it, but when I'm sending it. So I sent her this card, and I got her the picture off of Facebook, and I sent the card. And Callie, she signed up not only for, we have the card challenge, the 10 card challenge for $20. She not only signed up for that, but she signed up for another package of 37. She said, I have 30 people I want to send these to. They're awesome. The brownies are fabulous. So we have actually built a friendship. She's actually going to come and stay in South Carolina, because she's going to do some scans at the police department and the EMT. And we just made friends over a short trip, and then getting these cards and the brownies.
I love it.
And so this was another prompting, beautiful couple. This is a mother and daughter, another business trip that I was on. I was eating, and they were just chatting and just so, joyful. And so my nature is to just introduce myself, and her daughter just graduated. She's a dentist, and her mother was there trying to help her get set up and everything. And we started talking. And again, the same thing was like, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I share a system that's unique, that helps connect people and really build relationships. She said, tell me more, because what she does is she's in sales. She's a sales coach. She has salespeople, and she sells grafts for burn units, skin grafts. So she said, I'm trying to teach my salespeople. I said, teach them not to sell, teach them to share and build relationships first. Callie, it was so funny. They were going out to dinner. So I hurried up. I said, I'll show you. I took this one with my phone and she's like, here's my credit card. And she's running out the door. I said, no, I don't want your credit card yet. We'll get together. And again, we met afterwards. She signed up. She's doing the $20 10 card challenge. And her daughter, who is a dentist, is very interested. She said, well, Mom, I want you to get started. And then maybe you can be my assistant and you can help me build my business through sending these cards. So that was just another unique story. And we've become friends since that time as well. And these were all just recent. I mean, these were just in like the last 3 weeks. So Sam on the left there, and Mark, Sam was our waitress, and she's just adorable. She just had a baby, and she was at another restaurant before. And then when I saw her here, I was so surprised to have her as our waitress again. And we were talking, and again, kind of the same scenario, like, what do you do? And I said, well, you guys like brownies? And we love brownies. So I told them, I said, let me show you this unique system. Took their picture, and come to find out, Mark, in addition to working at this restaurant, is the membership directory of the chamber. So he got the brownies and he said, you must come to our meeting. I went to their meeting just yesterday. And he said, you must join because so many people here can really use this system. He said, I love the brownies, love the card, love that you can do this from your phone, and just how unique it is. So those have just been recent. I've just acted on those promptings and just so happy that they're happy with not only the cards, but the brownies and the whole system that's available to them.
I love that, Donna. Yeah, you mentioned we have gifts. We have amazing gifts. It's funny. My dentist sends brownies.
Yeah.
The system. You mentioned that. My dentist uses this system to follow up with all their clients after they've been in for appointment, sending them a card. And I love it. I'm like, you use my own stuff against me because they ask me while I'm doing my cleaning, like, where am I going? What am I up to? And in the card, they refer to that. Like I had recently been in there. My husband and I were going to Ireland and England, and they're like, we hope you have a great time on your trip to Ireland and England. And, I know what they're doing because us being involved in promptings, but they tell me they don't have to do advertising, the word of mouth because of that, right? What their clients, they're getting referrals. That is the power of this system for no matter what business you are in, because people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And this is an amazing system to do just that.
Yeah.
Thank
absolutely.
you so much for coming on and sharing your stories tonight, Donna. I was so glad you were on with us.
Thank you.
And I'm going to take us quickly back to the Promptings website. You'll also see under send out cards, we have our Promptings Education and Promptings Academy. Both Donna and Amberly have been part of our Promptings Education. If you've got questions on that, get back with the person. But I really wanted to share with you is the ways to get started and using our Promptings mechanism. We have a 10 card challenge. If you have never sent a card on our system, this is an absolutely amazing way to get started. You can send 10 cards, right, for $20 within the next 20 days from when you get it. 10 cards, $20, 20 days. And did I mention stamps included anywhere in the world? And we believe by doing this, you don't just change the lives of the 10 people you sent to, it's 11 lives changed, including yours. If you've already tried our 10 card challenge and want to know what else, we've got our promptings mechanism, heartfelt prompting card subscriptions. We have a $37 that gives you 20 cards, stamps included anywhere in the world, and our $97 unlimited unlimited heartfelt prompting cards, no matter if you're sending 1, 3, 5, 7, 10 a day. That's included in our 97 unlimited heartfelt prompting card subscription. When we're done here, I'm going to send you back to the person if you have questions on that. We also have a promptings process package. I love this package. It's a $497 one-time fee. It includes the very first month of your unlimited heartfelt prompting cards. If you want to continue that, it's just $97 from there, though it also has 100 system cards. So if you want to do group mailings or holiday cards, it includes that. It includes our virtual assistant who can set everything up, help you get started. It includes a prompting coach. It includes our first level promptings education, our prompting seminar, a ticket for you and 2 other people for our next one being in November. It includes our campaign store, all kinds of things. If you want to go all in here at Promptings, I highly recommend our Promptings process package. It is a great way to get started. We also have other options. You can check that out with the person who invited you or have them send you their promptings.com link to their website. And I would be amiss if I didn't mention, we also have an opportunity here at Promptings. So if you've loved what you're hearing, you are interested in sharing this with others and getting paid to do so, get back with that person who invited you onto this webinar. They, again, can answer any of your questions and help you get started. Here's the thing. We would love for you to be part of Promptings. This is an amazing company changing lives day in and day out. We would love for you to use our products, change your life, change the others. And if you're interested, join us in our opportunity as well. Please get back with the person who invited you, get your questions answered, get started today, and please let me be the very first person to welcome you to Promptings.